Hello everyone, welcome to SST College of Arts and Commerce. This is SST Edupedia, myself Assistant Professor Manju Juriani, and today we are going to start the subject Human Resource Management, which comes under the class TYBCBI. The semester is 6 and Unit 5. The name of the topic is compensation. So let's start. So what is the meaning of compensation? Whenever an employee works in an organization, we have to pay some compensation. The company have to pay some compensation. So compensation means different things to different people. From the point of view of the employee, compensation is the reward for his efforts for satisfactory work. When employee performs his job in a better way, he needs compensation, he needs salary, wages. So it is also the value that the organization attaches to the employee's skills and abilities. So the firm pays something in return to employee's skills and the efforts he have made in the organization. And so compensation management is concerned with defining, designing and deploying compensation and reward strategies that contribute toward organizational success. So HR managers have to plan compensation accordingly. They have to design and compensation plan towards organization success. So when employees work in an organization, they need some reward, they need some recognition, they need compensation. So the company pays salaries, incentives and different benefits. So HR have to design proper compensation in order to satisfy the employees, which in turn leads to the success in the organization. So compensation systems are designed to encourage productivity, focus people on outcomes and reward individuals and teams when results are achieved. So the purpose is to reward the employees so they will perform in a better way, their productivity will increase. So let's see the definition of compensation, which is given by Milkovich and Boudreau. So compensation refers to all forms of financial returns, tangible services and benefits employees receive as part of their employment relationship. So whenever an employee works in an organization, so they receive some financial returns and tangible services and different benefits such as traveling allowances and promotion and different incentives, bonuses are given to employees. So it comes under compensation. So now let's see wages and salary administration. The HR has to make this wages and salary administration. So let's see, wages and salaries are the payment received for performing work. They are a major component of the compensation and reward process. So wages and salaries are important part of the compensation management. It is aimed at reimbursing employees for their work and motivating them to perform the best of their abilities. So the wages and salaries are provided to reimburse the employees and to motivate them. Whenever they will receive the salary on time, they receive sufficient salary, the employees are tend to perform well. So as we know, wages and salaries are similar term, but there is a slight difference between them. Wages refers to hourly rate of pay and it is used most frequently for blue collar employees. So it is based on hourly payment, wages, and salary refers to weekly, monthly or yearly rate of pay and it is usually used for white collar employees. So it is paid on weekly, monthly or yearly basis. So now let's see objectives or goal of wage and salary administration. So why we have to do wages or salary administration in an organization? So first is it leads to internal and external equity. So internal equity refers to there should not be any discrimination in the payment of wages or salaries. Salaries or wages should be paid according to their employees' capabilities and skills, and at the same position of the job, every employee should be given equal pay and fair wages should be given. And external equity refers to when in an organization, different organizations have different salaries and wages, but mostly the similar amount of wages and salaries should be paid in different organizations when the employees are working at the same position. Then next is fair wages. So fair wages should be provided to employees according to their skills, abilities. the more the skills and the more the employees are talented, they tend to receive more salary. So fair amount of wages should be given to employees. Then next is attract competent talent. So proper salary and wages administration leads to attract competent employees. So talented employees will remain in our organization. They will not leave the organization and they will be satisfied to work in our organization. Then next, it retain good employees. So proper wage and salary administration leads to retainment of good employees. The good employees will stay in our organization. They will be satisfied to work in our organization by way of, because they are getting different benefits, different incentives. They are getting good amount of salary and wages. So they will be satisfied and it will lead to retention in the company. Then next is satisfy employee needs. So good administration of salary and wages satisfied the employees' needs, like they have different needs, they have basic necessities and they want to fulfill their needs. So proper salary and wages administration leads to fulfillment of employees' needs. Then next, it motivates employees to higher productivity. When when employees are paid good salary and wages, they tend to be motivated and it will lead to higher productivity. It will lead to less wastages. Employees will be focused on their work and there will not be absenteeism. They will be motivated to work and it will lead to higher efficiency and profit in the organization. Then next is cost control. So proper salary administration leads to cost control. We can plan our salaries and wages in a way according to our budget, according to our income and expenditures. So it leads to proper cost control. The salaries and wages are paid according to the profit made by the company. So the proper cost control is possible with the help of salary administration. Then next, improve union management relationships. So it leads to proper union management relationships in the company. The relation between labor unions and management will be good because the company will be providing salaries and wages on time and they will be providing good amount of salary and wages. So there will not be any conflicts between the labor unions and management. Then next, it promotes corporate image. So when any company provides good amount of salary and wages and it provides on time with different benefits, so it leads to corporate image. It will create goodwill of the company in the business. So it creates good corporate image in the minds of employees and public. Then last is government laws. So we have to do proper administration of wages and salaries because there are certain government laws we have to follow, such as Minimum Wages Act and different companies acts. We have to follow certain acts and we have to provide good amount of wages. We cannot discriminate among employees. So these are the objectives or goals of wages and salary administration. Then moving forward, next is factors affecting wages or salaries. So what factors are there which affect the salaries and wages, the amount of salaries and wages, how it is decided? So first is demand and supply. So the demand and supply of labor, it is the important factor which affects the salaries and wages. When there will be more demand of the labor and there is less supply, less competent employees are available, so the wages or salaries will be more, the amount will be higher. And on the other hand, when there is a more supply of labor and there is no demand, there are many competent employees available but there are no jobs available, so the wages and salaries amount will be low. So this is the first factor, demand and supply. Then next is prevailing wages and salaries. So the amount prevailing in the market, which rate is prevailing in the market, what rate is provided by the other companies, it affects our wages and salaries. So mostly similar amount of wages are given on at the similar position, job position. Then next is organization's ability to pay. So very important factor. The more the company is earning, the more wages and salaries it will provide. So the organization ability to pay is decided by the amount of profit earned by the company and vice versa. If there is more profit, the company will be providing good amount of wages and salaries, and if there is less amount less profit earned by the company, it will provide less salaries and wages. Then next, moving forward, productivity. So the higher the productivity in the company, the higher the salaries and wages will be, because if the employees are working more, they are providing good productivity, they are working efficiently, they will need good amount of salaries and wages. And next it is job requirements. So it depends upon job requirements. Higher the skills and talent required for a particular job, higher and salaries will be. So when the job is for higher positions, when higher skills are required, higher qualifications are required, it will lead to higher salaries and vice versa. Next is cost of living. So higher the cost of living in an economy, higher will be salaries and wages. So because the purpose of salaries and wages for employees is to cover their cost of living. So it depends upon area to area. When in urban areas the cost of living is more, so there will be high salaries and wages provided to cover that cost of living for the employees. Then next is government regulations. Like we saw earlier, there are different government regulations are there. For example, Minimum Wages Act, Companies Act. We have to follow different regulations and act, and we have to provide sufficient amount of wages and salaries to the employees. Next, labor unions. So there are different labor unions in the company. So we have to satisfy them. There should not be any conflicts between the labor unions and management. So otherwise, labor will go on strike, or there will be conflicts. So that's why we have to provide sufficient amount of wages and salaries and other benefits. Then next is economic realities. So it depends upon economic realities in the economy. When the economy is prospering, is progressing, when there is a boom period in the market, the salaries and wages will be more. But on the other hand, if there is recession in the market, the economy is going down, so the salaries and wages will be low. For example, during the COVID period, many of the employees' salaries were cut down because there was no profit and economy was in the low period. Then next, managerial attitudes. So salaries and wages also depends upon the attitude of the management. If the management wants to satisfy their employees, they want to keep the talented employees in the company, they will provide good amount of salaries and wages to their employees, and vice versa. Then next is last, psychological and social factors. So psychological factors are also there. For example, when employees get good amount, they are satisfied in the company, they think that they are valued in the company. So that's why psychologically also employees have impact on their mind when the salaries are good. On the other hand, if the good amount of salary is not provided, the employees will be demotivated to work in the organization. And also different social factors are there. For example, there should be no discrimination among the employees. So fair wages will be provided, equal wages should be provided according to the skills and talent of the employees. So these are the factors which affect the salaries and wages in the company. So today we completed the compensation meaning and wages and salaries administration, objectives and goals, and factors affecting wages and salaries. Thank you.